Have you ever took a journey to the other side? Come on, take a ride. Have you ever took a journey? We gon' feel alive.
Good afternoon, good morning, good everything. It's a great day today. I just want to say thank you for y'all for listening and enjoying us. This is Breakfast with the Boys. We've been away for a little while, and we miss you, but we got some new things going. We're going to take a different kind of format, and if we don't do it right, we're going to figure out a way to do it right, and we got the right people to do it. I've got my son, my colleague, my ace Boom Coon beside me, and he's going to fill you in a little bit about how we're going to roll from here on out.
Oh, yeah, man. We back season 2. If y'all recall, man, we launched right around the Super Bowl last year.
It was about that time. You're right.
And we back for season 2 to get it going. Hey, we're going to keep this real chill. We're still going to have our same shout-outs. Shout out to Kurt McGirt,
Yeah, you got to give Kurt McGirt.
Kurt McGirt got to get a shout-out. We always love to listen to Journey.
Yeah.
We got to give a shout-out to our boys here at the studio, murraymedia.net. Never forget .net.
Oh, without a question. And make sure you hit my boy Tyler up because, Tyler's the one to keep it alive over here.
Tyler keeps us going, man. So, hey, here's how we're going to do it today, man. We got a couple of good old friends here. And Pops, I might even let you introduce friends since we're switching it up a little bit.
Okay.
Again, thinking about the times, we're going to talk a little bit about NBA trade deadline. We're in Dallas. We got to talk about it. MVP was announced last night for the NFL. We're going to talk about that. Then we're going to talk about some good old fun family stuff. We're going to talk through a little bit of our faith too. So just stick with us, Pops. You want to introduce the homies over here?
Absolutely. First of all, I'm gonna go with my boy. I got AM/PM. We used to call Aaron Mitchell over here, number 34 of the Dallas Cowboys. He's the kind of guy that hits you anytime, any day. So keep an eye on him if you're beside him because I recall in a game we was in practice. In practice, I'm running a route. We're practicing over here. I run a route what's called like a little out and up takeoff. My man clubbed me. Now I'm pissed off. You're talking about pissed off. I'm pissed off for the whole week. But we're going to talk about that a little later. But that's my man Aaron Mitchell over there, AM/PM. And then I got to believe it right now, White Lightning, the fastest white guy I ever played with, For that matter, all the white guys are faster than me anyway, so they really didn't make a difference. But Doug can really roll. I got Doug Donley from Ohio State. His buddy Art Sleecher might show up. No, we ain't gonna talk about Art, But anyway, these are my boys right here. I'm talking about we play cards. We just shoot the crap. These are my boys right here. So yeah, we're gonna have some fun just talking about sports.
Love it. Hey, first of all, man, thanks for joining us, y'all.
Yeah, thanks.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
And again, we're in Dallas. I'm kicking it right off, man. This week, Luka Doncic shipped out to LA. What do y'all think? Especially from having played, y'all know the business of the sport, right? Like, this is Cowboy football nation, but this was Luka's town. That was the face of the city. Like, what are y'all thoughts? Do you like the trade? Can you believe we did it? What do you think?
Well, I'll say first off, when Mark Cuban gave up majority ownership of the Mavericks, that pretty much kind of sealed certain things, and in the sense that Luka just signed that 5-year, $345 million contract. I think $69 million a year. That right there kind of maybe raised some flags. But the aspect of him being traded, and as big a name as he is really what shook everybody. Okay, and to the extent that now this man, I think he just bought
$15 million house.
$15 million house. A lot of people don't understand that the aspect of being a professional athlete is about being able to make changes on the run big time. And this affects his family and all. And think about it. He's going to Los Angeles, a place that has already had these fires and what have you. And most of the homes that really took a lot of damage were, the really expensive homes.
Yeah.
So he's going to a place, leaving his home here, and going to have his family move there. That is, when they interviewed Luka, I think they made a point of looking at his, face and listening to his answers. And, he didn't really seem comfortable. And he probably won't get comfortable until he's been there for about a month or two. So anyway, that's my take on it.
When you look at Luka, the talent that he is, right? He's an incredible offensive talent, right? And for them to trade him, I think says a lot. And, Luka, his numbers, offensive numbers are compared to Jordan. But you can't compare him to Jordan.
Right, no
Jordan.
way.
Jordan brings so much more to the table.
The whole game. The
The
whole
whole
game.
game,
The whole
defense, the intensity, making players better. I would argue that guys might be glad that Luka's gone teammates, even though he's a great guy, because everybody there playing in the NBA, they were the man.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? They're the man standing there while Luka's got the ball dribbling, and then he throws it to him with 2 seconds on the shot clock. They don't have that confidence in themselves because Luka's the man. And I bet you see the offense now, people hustling, the ball moving. A lot of things are going to change, I think, without Luka being there because he is so ball dominant and so in control of the game. And I bet you the players, as much as they like him and respect his ability across the NBA, the other part of his game affects other players and brings them down, I think.
Yeah. There's no question, Anthony. I mean, and the bottom line, Doug, great point. Mitch, great point over there. But the bottom line is that you got a guy who's this good and they ship away. That in itself tells you there's some issues going on. But two, I think the Mavericks have improved. And how crazy is that? I mean, you got an international star, who's bringing you product endorsements over here, who's bringing you listeners over here, who's just bringing it to the table. I mean, he's putting people in the seats and they got rid of him. Well, you know what? The bottom line is that, bringing AD, who I don't know what's going to happen with AD, but Doug Christie is my guy that I like over here. I like this guy. He plays defense. He's young. He's going to be a beast. He's going to bring this team to another degree. I like this offense. I like the idea that when AD comes in, I like to see him inserted into that 4 spot. Gafford can play the 1, and PJ Washington play the 3, or those 3 are the 3. And then you got Luke. Then you got Irving, and you got Christie. I think that's a starting 5 line. I think that's going to be serious coming up. But what I do like though is that I think both teams are going to benefit from it. See, LA, I think, is a very strategical good move from the standpoint that LeBron's a bad boy. We've talked about that. I used to call you up to say, hey man, this 5-6 years ago, LeBron is the man. And people are saying he's too old then, but LeBron was kicking butt then. But the bottom line is they bring in Luka to replace LeBron. And LeBron's like, man, he had like 30, well, he had 42 last night. Hey,
he did. Right.
What's my man taking? I think if I'm in the league, I'm checking him out. I'm saying, hey man, we need to do a drug test on this guy because, hey, you just can't be 40 years old, running up and down the court, scoring 42 points a game, and not asking to come out? Come on, now talk to me, y'all.
Right. Hey, but do you see Luka as being the main person bringing the ball up or LeBron? Because both of them need to have the basketball in order to be effective.
Like LeBron is LeBron. He's a point forward.
Okay.
He's a point 3. He's a point 2.
I agree.
He got to have the ball. Luka's going to have to change, but what's going to happen though is that they're telling Luka, hey, look, man, it's your club next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Hey, you just sit in here and work with the player. When we want you to go one-on-one, do your thing. When we need that shot, do your thing. Otherwise, let LeBron run the team, and it's yours next year.
Exactly.
So you guys tell me it's a good move. We fresh off the finals. We fresh off leading the NBA in scoring. We fresh off 5 straight all first team NBAs. And not just that, man, you think about the business side of it. Like I said, he was the face of the city. I know people who told me, hey, I'm done. I'm out of the Mavs.
Right.
I got friends who are in Oklahoma City who are thanking God. They said, man, that's the only thing standing between us and the finals this year.
Well, that's what they were saying about when Kyrie came here. Kyrie, it won't work. There's no way to work with Kyrie.
True.
That's exactly where they went.
I don't think Mavs fans were saying that though.
No, I think they were.
The media was.
Our boy Cook. Oh man, what are you doing over here? How could you do something like that? But you know what? Kyrie came in and changed the game because Kyrie understands it. This is a perfect time for Kyrie and the Mavericks because Kyrie wants to win at all costs. Even though it's not like when he was with Cleveland over there, it's another story. He wants to show them that I can be a team player as opposed to just being that guy on the island. And he's done that. He adjusted to Luka. That had to be huge for Kyrie,
Exactly. He did
for
have
him
to adjust, and he did.
And he did.
Yeah.
He took a back seat. And these guys, I promise you, think, they understand how good Luke is, but I promise you, they're excited about not playing without him, quite honestly.
Getting their chance to show they can do it.
I'm with Doug on that. I think Anthony, Davis, fits right in with their 6'9", 6'8", rangy, run the court basketball, defend, plays, slam dunking balls, getting rebounds. I mean, the Mavericks do have some what we call dogs
Right.
out there.
Yeah, but you got to worry about AD though, man. I mean,
Yeah, can he stay healthy?
if you cough on AD's gonna say, "I'm a eye, my eye hurts, man." Hey, hey, you blowing on my chest, man. What'd you do? I saw AD hit the ground, nobody touched him, and he couldn't find somebody to hit. I said, "Come on, man, talk to me."
Okay.
He's going to be playing his position finally, though, which is he's.
So he says. But
Yes.
see, on the flip
got
side, though,
Gafford.
he's got to guard a four.
I understand.
It's it's one thing to play that four, and you can
gotta guard
but you
four,
got to guard a guy who's much fast. Play the five.
He's gotta guard LeBron.
Nah, he's been showing he's doing that. They've been switching him on anybody.
Yeah, but as much as he gets hurt, I mean, him trying to cover somebody covering,
Even if he gets beat, they got PJ and Gafford to deal.
But they got some dogs, as Mitch said. They got some boys that are a little tough. That's the difference in the Mavs this year.
Yes.
They got a little meanness back there, you can go for that.
Okay,
Yes.
let me ask y'all this. And the basketball side of it, I hear you. As an organization, you got to think you want to go a place where they're going to take care of you. Not only do you trade my man, but you trade him in the middle of the night without telling him.
Right.
How are you going to attract free agents? Would you guys come to Dallas and say, hey, this is an organization that wants to win? Or would you say this is an organization that does not look out for their guys?
You know what? These guys know it's a business. It's transactional.
Yeah.
And if anything proved it, this last move did, right? You saw KD and all the guys saying, if Luka can get traded, anybody can get traded. So they realized that, and it was cold-blooded, right? They did it in the middle of the night between two buddies. The Laker guy and Nico were buddies. They didn't shop him. I mean,
this has been going on for like at least 2 or 3 weeks or 2 months.
Yeah.
It ain't like it was a secret. These dudes have been talking, and they kept it between them too. But you're right, Doug. You're absolutely correct, though. This is going to change the game up a little bit because, for lack of a better term, we've got some guys that are prima donnas out there. Hey, we've all been there. Well, I know that I believe in my game and still believe in my game. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to my man Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, right. But I'm talking about though that now that hey, look, man, like you said, you got Durant, you got Booker, you got LeBron. Them saying like what?
They were all humbled by this.
Right. That might change up the game over there. So that might be good for the league.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things is that the owners of the NBA are taking note of what the owners of the NFL have done for years. And in basketball, the players pretty much have run the way the economic standpoint has been dictated. And so these trades, like you see with Luka and Jimmy Butler, are kind of a sign that the owners are starting to say, okay, hey, look, we're going to kind of take back some of this control because the NFL has been that way since we got there, and the NBA pretty much is because I look at it from the outside and say, man, these guys, all their contracts are guaranteed. They don't really have to worry about anything. They pretty much run the whole forum. And so now I think the owners are starting to say, hey, look, we're going to take back some of this.
I don't know. I think that might be a little stern from the standpoint of take back. I think the players are going to control the game. I just think they've been served notice. The game has changed so much that when I say that, though, think about this. I'm going to throw something at you guys that you're clearly going to understand. LeBron's playing in the basketball game, and he's playing, and at halftime he goes in, gets his phone, and finds out there's a fan that's been watching him. Now wait a minute. Did you hear what I said? Hey, can you imagine us pulling out our phone at halftime? Wait a minute. Or at any point in time on the sideline. These guys got phones on the sideline.
Right.
Now, and what's even funnier, or not necessarily funnier, crazier, you got the Brown from the Eagles
Reading
over here.
the book.
He's got a book on the sideline.
Yeah.
Tom would have just said, hey, man.
Right.
Hey,
Right.
what do you say, Doug?
Right.
Hey, Thrill. He wouldn't even call me Thrill. You're like, Hill?
You're gone.
You need a book to get you in the game. You gone.
First of all, the book would have never got to the sidelines because what in the world are you doing?
But the fact that he had, you gotta have a book to motivate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I gotta remember. Hey, Anthony, I gotta. let's see, if it going gets tough, I need to be tougher. What the heck's going on here, man? I mean, is the game change or what?
We couldn't put our helmet on the ground.
Right.
No, right.
We're
Or
talking
sit
about a
on
book.
it. Yeah,
Hey,
right.
we weren't allowed to put our helmet on the ground or sit on a helmet. And the Raiders used to do that too. It's like, hey, they just mess with us, man. They come, just grab their helmets and throw it on the ground like that. They just sit on it and smile at us.
That's the way it should be.
Right.
I mean, I like that.
Let them play.
You're grown men.
So we had a tight leash over there, a tight leash. But I had to bring that up. A book on the sideline, a motivational book. Number one, I'm getting paid $20 million a year, and I need a motivational book. And then there's a phone. They even got them on the sideline in their hips. I said, come on, man, talk to me.
Yeah.
Man, all right. Speaking NFL, like I said, we got a lot of awards last night. Saquon won Offensive Player of the Year. I think Patrick Surtain may have won Defensive Player of the Year. But the one everybody wants to talk about, right, is the MVPs. I'd love to get y'all's takes. Doug, what'd you think about MVP vote over here yesterday?
So the MVP was
the MVP, Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, obviously,
Yeah.
right. I mean, that's a tough one. You got Mahomes, you got Josh Allen. Josh Allen is just, he's just an incredible football player. And he I don't know.
Come on, man. Don't be straddling the line. Now, you Josh Allen or not? Talk to me, man. Because I got something for you on this one,
I don't
man.
have a strong opinion to say, yes, he should have or no, he shouldn't have. I just don't.
Yeah,
and I'd like to hear an argument that I could say, yeah, I don't agree with that or I do. But
I'll give you an argument.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a real good argument. We got a guy by the name of Lamar Jackson up in Baltimore. The offense was number one in the league. He set a record of 4,000 yards passing, 900 yards rushing. First quarterback to ever do that in the career of the NFL. He also had a percentage. His rating, QB rating was 119. There's only two people that had a higher rating than him. It was Aaron Rodgers and Peyton Manning. They were 122 in the NFL. He had 119. That was his, and he was the fourth in the NFL from that standpoint. He threw for 40 touchdowns. Had 41 touchdowns.
47 total.
47 total touchdowns. But the bottom line is they were numbered. These were all not necessarily. They weren't, and they were better than any of his statistics. They were not only best in the NFL. I mean, this year they're best in the NFL. I'm talking about fourth over, number one in the other other statistics. How can you not be an MVP?
So my question is, what kept him from being the MVP?
Oh, well, here's the deal, though. Understand this as well.
I don't understand.
He's first team All-Pro. This is All-Pro. He's first team All-Pro. Out of 50 votes, he had 30 of them. Okay, he had 30 of them. Now for all of a sudden, now for the MVP, he gets 23. Gets 23 out of 27 first place votes. Lamar's drops down. Talk to me, man. How do you explain that?
What's the argument?
There is no argument. That's my point. But you said it's a tough deal. I want to get a feel from you on that.
Yeah, I mean,
that ain't tough in my eyes.
Hearing those stats, I'm like, okay, I don't see another side of the story.
There is no other story.
There's a side, man. There's precedent for this. He's got LeBron. LeBron, from his time in the Cleveland to go into Miami, best player in the league every year, best numbers. It's voter fatigue, man. You don't want to if you start giving a guy, but this would have been Lamar Jackson's third MVP. Yeah. Now you got to start having but when you think about the media, the conversations become, is he the greatest of all time? He's never won the ring, right?
Right.
When LeBron lost one to Derrick Rose, even when Jordan lost a couple to Karl Malone, it just becomes, hey, somebody else's turn to win, right? And Josh had an incredible year and beats him in the playoffs. So I think, they might say it's a regular season award. I think some of those votes changed after he dropped him in the playoffs.
Who makes the vote? Who
the writers do.
The writers, right? So do they care that it's the fifth guy in a row who gets it 5 years?
Obviously they do. I mean, think about it. I mean, it's obvious. I mean, I just gave you stats. I'm not talking about just league stats. I'm talking about the career. I'm talking about NFL. I'm not talking about 2025 or 2024. I'm talking about ever played the game. You know,
Right.
he set records over there. The offense was number 1 in the league. You know, what else can you do? Yeah, he had Henry. Yeah, he had. But you know what, my man, I just gave you his stats.
Right.
He had over 900. No quarterback has ever had over 900 yards. He had over 4,000 yards passing over there. His interception ratio was outstanding. You know, I mean, the man did everything that and he was MVP last year. This year was better than that.
I wonder.
And the guys and the stats that he took over. I mean, when I say he's behind Aaron Rodgers, who did it in 2011 and 2020 or something like that, and Peyton Manning back in the day, they were both MVPs with those stats. I mean, they had similar stats to that. And of course, you know, Peyton didn't get none running. You know what I mean?
Right,
So,
right. If it was a player vote, you think it would be definitely Lamar.
Well, every year they do the NFL rank where the players vote on who's the best player. And going into this year, even after Mahomes won a second championship, the players voted Lamar Jackson the number 1 player in the NFL. So the respect's there. I think it's a narrative thing. We love nostalgia. Think about how many times we do like our Kobe, Jordan, LeBron jokes, and like LeBron might score 100 points in the game. He ain't never gonna pass Jordan in your eyes. You know?
Right.
There's some guys who you start putting a guy in 3 MVP territory. That's
sacred ground.
elite.
Well, see,
Yeah.
I mean, and you're absolutely correct from the standpoint he's not going to surpass Jordan. He's not going to surpass Kobe in my eyes. For the simple fact is that, hey, Jordan he was 10-time all defense. Wait a minute, we you know, hey, I mean, defensive player of the year, I mean, all defense. Excuse me, I mean, again, don't fact check me because I don't remember crap. I'm gonna be straight up front with people, but I'm pretty close over there. He led the league in scoring. You know, he's the MVP. I mean, it ain't no way. And then Kobe, I'm gonna tell you right now, Kobe is he's a 1B. I'm gonna tell you right now, he's a disciple of Michael Jordan over there. Hey, he's taking Michael Jordan's Rembrandt or photo and just he polished it up. He said, "Hey man, I'm gonna put lipstick on this over here, make it look a little bit better. I'm gonna give her a little fix the eyebrows over there so she can look a little bit better." But I can tell you right now, it's still the Mona Lisa. You know, that's what Michael Jordan is.
Yeah, there's no discussion on that in my mind on who's the best all time in the NBA.
But how can you discount LeBron though? You know, I said that whole this guy's played 20 years over here, has been on top See, Michael and Kobe, they couldn't. I mean, they were cold blooded in the area, but the 20 years. I mean, greatness comes with longevity. Hey, LeBron has most certainly answered the bell.
Yeah, his body. I mean, look at his body.
I know. Give him
He's
some
40 years
credit.
old. He can take the pounding, and even it's not as physical as it used to be when Jordan played. But look at his conditioning.
Right, but that's an attribute to him. You can't fault him for being in tip-top shape.
No.
You can't put an asterisk because, hey, I'm in tip-top shape and I'm going to be ready to kick butt every time I go out. You can't stop him for that.
No.
You can't discount that. You got to give credit for that.
Yes.
But understand this, though. Michael and Kobe were in great shape. I mean, Kobe, man, I'm listening to Kobe. He's working out. He said, you know what? In order to be the best, I start at 4 a.m. I go from 4 to 6. I come home and get breakfast. I go 9 to 11. I go home and get breakfast. I go 1 to 3. I go home and I go back to 7 to 9, and then I go home and sleep.
Yeah.
And you know the thing you say, is that really, did he really do this? They got players who said they witnessed this.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it ain't like we're players, think about it.
Their bodies weren't made to take the pounding that LeBron's body is. LeBron,
But you can't discount him
no,
for that.
you can't.
And so give credit for that because guys that size, and he had Magic. Magic was tough. He was a big boy, but he ain't no LeBron.
No.
You know what I mean?
And all this we're saying on behalf of who we think should have won the MVP.
Right, we're back there.
NFL. And so
we back there,
I'm
Mitch.
sitting
Okay.
here, you guys making me this, but to the standpoint of Lamar, that, from a defensive coordinator standpoint, he has to be the biggest headache you have to deal with because it's a man that can throw that football. He's a man that can run that football. He's a man that touches the football every stinking offensive down. Okay? Yeah. And in the sense of Josh Allen winning it, I can see that in the sense of like this Super Bowl we have coming up where we see the guys on ESPN, going back and forth because of Josh Allen he's an excellent football player, even though, all the accolades, all the athletic, maybe seemingly ability is on Lamar's side. The vote went to Josh. Okay. So nothing wrong with that. I mean, he's a hell of a ball player, man. What is he? 6'4", 205, 235 pounds, and he's a beast, man.
Right.
But again, I mean, how a defensive coordinator has to adjust to dealing with Lamar is probably a little different than what he has to deal with Josh.
Yeah.
So.
No. Hey, I mean, Mitch got this analytical look on him over here. Mitch, I ain't never known you had this, attorney. Look at him. Hey, Doug, this the same Mitch we know, man.
Well, he brought us back in line. We were,
Hey, Mitch, take that mask off, man. I know that ain't you, man. Hey, come on now. Hey. But hey, I think you made a really good point as well, though. I mean, the bottom line is when you prepare for a game. Hey, Josh is bad. I'm not, and understand this, I'm not discounting Josh by any means. He's a bad boy. But, the bottom line is, though, Lamar is just, I mean, his statistics this year, some people say statistics is not all about statistics, but what he accomplished this year is the real deal. Yeah. It's just you just can't mark it. I mean, his team had a good year. I mean, he had a great year. Matter of fact, when they lost, and you said sometimes perhaps this is based on the MVP is not picked until, obviously until the last game of the season but the bottom line is that he brought them back in the Buffalo game. If my man, all he had to do was put 2 fingers on the ball, and this goes into overtime. Right. You know what I mean? People forget all about that. Right. I mean, hey, he threw an interception, which was rare, but hey, he bounced back like a true champion. If you measure that last game, Josh had a good game, but don't forget, Lamar put them in position to win. These guys were dropping balls, and then dropping the 2-point conversion that was clearly there.
And what you're talking about there is consistency, impactive consistency. How can a guy win 3 MVPs? I mean, he's consistent in the conversation.
Right.
That alone lets you know that the man has got some weight.
Right.
They respect Josh Allen, what he can do on the football field. They fear what Lamar can do.
Yeah.
They fear.
There you go.
Well put.
There you go.
Yes.
All right, I told you guys, I had white line. I know. I brought a white guy on the panel because he can bring it back to us over here.
Hey.
That's my boy, guys. That's what y'all to do.
That's your boy. You nicknamed him what? White Lightning, right?
He had White Lightning before we came. Well, I stayed with him. Hey, White Lightning, baby. Hey, he can roll. Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Hey, so y'all know how we keep it on Breakfast with the Boys, man. We talking all sorts of things, man. Speaking of White Lightning, we gotta talk about White Lightning Jr. It's track season in college, and I'm hearing Drew. He's just getting into track shape, right? So we're running the 200 right now.
I mean, he just started running. He's running track right now. He's running indoor, which is just a tune-up for his outdoor season, which is really what he's made for. And so he's running the 60 and the 200, and still got his football legs. He hasn't been doing this but about a month, and he's going in there running against guys from Stanford and Alabama and Georgia. And
ain't no guys from Stanford, man. You would have said LSU, Auburn.
Right.
We ain't got no track stars at Stanford,
but
man.
they're big schools he's running against on these first 2 meets, man. And he's just knocking it dead, and he's just. He's the ceiling for him is way up, and he's just not even close there yet.
Yeah, but what people don't know though is, and you didn't share that, Drew hasn't ran track, since he's been in college. He ran in high school. He hasn't ran track in college, and he decided this year to run track. So he just came off the football season, right?
Yep.
So that's not track shape. He come off the football season, and if I'm not mistaken, did you tell me he ran a 20.9 in the 200?
He ran a 20.9 in the 200. Yeah,
that's my granddaughter said. What?
Yeah, that's moving.
Yeah. So he runs again this weekend in College Station, and then he'll go to he ran the fastest. Third fastest time in school history, in his second meet. And he just had back surgery, not too long ago from Dr. Braxma.
Right, he did. Right.
So back surgery. Does he wish that he would have kept running all through high school?
Anthony, 100%. The football deal, he didn't get the opportunity and he said to me, Dad, I should have ran track this whole time.
Hey, guys, and again, these are my boys, but I went to go watch him run track. There was probably, maybe 70 track stars out there. 59 of them were black. The other 11 were white, and they threw the shot put or the discus or doing long jump. They weren't even long jumping. Cross country. They shot put the javelin throw.
Pole ball. Right.
Hey. But Drew Donley was out there in a sea of black. I'm talking about. I'm keeping it real with you. Hey, he came around this corner. Hey, you couldn't even see him in the corner. And the next thing I know, something just emerged out of there. And knew it was him because he was the only white guy out there. And he brought it on home. I mean, I'm talking about left him behind.
He invented social distancing before there was social distancing.
On the curve.
Oh, yeah, he could go.
Yeah. So he's getting ready for outdoor. when we get to outdoor, what race is his race?
So the 100 and the 200.
Okay.
The 100 is where, he takes off, and usually even in high school, he was behind 20, 30 meters, and then just takes off. So the 100 and the 200 would be his race.
Yeah, that's the way Leslie used to run. My daughter Leslie over there. I had a daughter could fly. I just think the fear of losing is why she didn't continue running, because she can roll and she'd always come from behind. She'd be in third place, but at the end of the tape, she would come.
Right.
I think she would have been a bad girl. She would have ran.
Yeah.
Yeah, fear of losing is tough, man. But it's good to see that Drew's back out there doing what he loves, man. We like to see him healthy. And Pops, again, man, we talk through everything over here, man. We talk sports, as y'all know. We talk family. We talk current events. And Valentine's Day is coming up. Mitch, I got to turn to you because I'm going to the movies on Valentine's Day. And if there's one thing I know about you, you're in the movie theater, man. What are we looking forward to seeing?
Well, you would put me on the spot like this because my movie prowess comes after I've seen the movie or see what's coming up. I really couldn't tell you, Anthony, what's going to be in the theater.
What
I'm
have
an
you seen
action.
lately?
Now, see, this is where,
Mitch goes to bed at 7 o'clock.
Hang on, say, folks.
Mitch got a list over
No,
there.
I do.
He pulled it up.
That's when you know you're senior stuff over
Hold
here.
it. Yeah, that's right.
It's
I don't care. I don't care. Okay.
It's CTE or senior stuff.
So anyway, you asked me a question. So the last couple of movies I saw that were pretty good, Flight Risk with Mark Wahlberg was very good. He's crazier than Dickens in that. Den of Thieves with Gerald Butler. If you like that was very good. Craven,
Craven the Hunter?
Craven the Hunter.
And Mitch like those
I like
those Friday the 13th movies,
Gladiator with Denzel Washington was very good. Now I tell y'all a movie that no one has probably heard of, but it was an excellent movie, and that was Juror Number 2. I promise you, that was a very, very good movie.
So,
right?
and
So in any event, just to give you a few, I do.
Hey, but you shouldn't refer to him as Mitch. You should refer to him as Cisco, Ebert, and Mitch. Because Mitch will give you. He will. Guys, hey, you see, he's got him on his phone, but he'll break it down to you. Don't let him break it down to you because he's gonna tell you the whole movie.
Right,
He don't just go to the front. He go from the beginning to the middle, and he gives you the end. I said, come on, Mitch, just give me a little bit. Hey, Cisco, just give me a little bit, baby.
Just give me a little. Yeah, Mitch, I asked that, man. Valentine's Day, I'm going to check out this new Captain America.
Okay,
comes out.
I think I may go see that.
You got to see that.
Yeah.
But as we talk through that, man, I'm thinking about taking my lady. Pops, you got to tell the story about how you met Mom. Now that we got Mitch in here.
Oh boy, guys, I'm about to tell you about this one. That's a good one though. But you know what? It's worth it. Here's the deal. I met my wife. I was in California. I went to California, right? And I was on a cover of an album cover that was produced by the Jacksons, Jackson 5. And so I was on this album cover, right? So they had me in a white suit, white shoes. I'm clean as a whistle, And so after that's over, I fly back to Dallas, right? We just came from the Super Bowl. We or from the playoffs. I'm living high. So I go to this club. And I see my wife my wife to be, so to speak, and my wife. But anyway, at that time, of course, it was just I saw this good-looking girl, hey, fine as I don't know what, right? And of course, she's fine to me, and fellas, and if y'all watching, it's fine to you too. I just want you to know that, all right? So anyway, no, I'm gonna try to make this quick though. So I see her sitting with two guys and another girl, right? But I'm playing it off. I'm Tony Hill, Dallas Cowboy. That's the mentality I got. I gotta keep it real with you. So she comes up, and I stopped her. I said, hey, honey, I just want to be straight up with you. Yeah, I just like to take you to dinner. My name's Tony Hill, Dallas Cowboys. I like to take you to dinner.
That's the line?
Oh, no, that's how
exactly.
I said I'm cutting to the chase.
You can't cut the best parts of the story.
I'm getting ready to come back to it. Hey. And she gives me this look like, I said, where you go? She says, no. I said, what? No. I said, well, do you believe in beautiful things for beautiful people? She said, yeah. I said, well, what else do you want? Hey. She looks at me like, I don't want that. I said, oh, okay. So So she went and she went to to the restroom, and I hawked her, man. I said, I tried to play it off. I got a little reputation. I tried to play it off, but when she came out, I hit her up. I said, hey, look, now I said, I want you to understand this. If you can go out with those two bums over there, you surely can go out. I didn't say bums. Those two guys over there, you surely can go out with me. I mean, just for dinner. And she says, all right. So she gives me her number, which I don't remember. She might have already had this plan. I don't remember that part. But she gives me a number on a little piece of paper like this, right? I mean, I can barely read the numbers now, with glasses, And so, but I'm in, So I take it home, and I can't find the number, man. About 5 days later, Mitch is over my house, man. He's over my house over here, and he's talking on the phone. I said, man, who you talking to, man? He said, man, I got some girl named Millie over here. I said, what?
Seriously?
Yeah, this is it.
You just picked up and
I
called?
can't remember. I don't remember.
Wait a minute, Mitch picked up the phone.
I might have.
Hey, he picks up the number in my house. Wait a minute, and calls me. Wait a minute, this is in my house. I said, are you serious?
And this is a top 3 story.
Oh my gosh! I've never heard this story, Anthony. Never heard it.
No. So I said, give me that, man. I've been looking all over for this number. So I call her. But here's the deal, though. How really cool this is, though. This is the real smooth. It was May. So I ended up getting a date with my girl. With her. It was May 5th, 1980. When it happened, because what I did, I went all out. I took her. I don't just you don't just take somebody out. You're trying to work it, but I went all out. I took her to an event. It was JDF. It was I can't think of the name of it. With a country western
A concert,
but it was a benefit. With juvenile diabetes.
Yeah.
I took her there, and he's got all these women, these ladies saying, "Who's that with you, man? Who's that?" Because I ain't never took no one with me to an event, right? So that was May 5th, 1980. On May 5th, 1990, we're playing cards, Don Alley. We're out over at my house over in Richards. We're getting ready to play cards, and my wife comes and says, we got to go to the hospital. My son was born on May 5th, 1990 to that day. And the crazy thing about it, I found this poster that for our first date that night, that same day, I found this poster of our first date, and I was showing her about that. And later on that night, we have the baby 10 years later.
Unbelievable.
Is that crazy? On the same day. And I find this poster on the same day. Yeah, but Mitch's over here in my house, man, and picked up my number, man. I'm saying, what is up with this?
Yeah.
But hey, God is good, though, because you know what? No telling what would have happened. I might have forgot who that was.
Right.
No, I'm lying, baby. If you watch this, you know I'm lying, okay?
Oh, man, Mitch, that's got. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that is good.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Hey, so again, we talk family, we talk faith, we talk a little bit of everything. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear if anyone's reading anything. I think Mitch, you tell me your daily breakfast. I think you told me is a little scripture.
And I have been aside of my workout routine have start out in what I call sessions. And my first session is to get my Bible and I sit down and read it. And I've done this for some time, but to encourage folks to read the Bible, there's the back part of the Bible called the concordance. And I'm retired now, so I say my quest in my retirement is that I'm going to read as much of what's in the back of the Bible, the concordance. Now, here's how I do it. You have topics. Today was abundance. So I'm in still the A's. Just, the first A, it might be a tire or something, okay? You might have 3 scriptures, Luke something, you may have Leviticus something, because we don't read a lot of those Old Testaments, or Ezekiel something. But this way, by me reading the concordance. Now today, Tony was coming to get me, and I was in abundance, and I had like 9 different captions there to read, okay? But what it does, it gets you into your Bible. It familiarizes you with, we all know Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, the New Testament. We don't necessarily get back into Genesis, Leviticus, Numbers,
right,
those which talk about the kings and the history and Egypt and Israel and the foundation of it. It can kind of be ongoing and long. But in any event, that's it. That's
no. That's all good because hold on. This
I didn't mean to run on.
This is the most perfect intro So for our listeners out here, I was coaching a football team. Hey, I'm coaching a football team, and it's the first time I'm coaching high school football. And I call my boys. Let's just give you how good it is. I call my boys. I call up Mitch, my defensive coordinator. I call up Doug, my offensive coordinator. Right. So we go to the school. I mean, and I'm telling the guys that telling the dean or the school and all this. Hey, here's my coaches over here. I introduce them over. Doug gets over. Hey, how you guys doing? I'm Doug Donley. Play with the Cowboys. Blah 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 blah. Mitch comes up and Mitch starts quoting scriptures. I'm saying, whoa, I'm looking out saying, oh, we got a winner over here. He's quoting scriptures. The guy's like, wow. So fast forward, we're about fourth week in the league, about the third week in the league, and the guy calls me in. He says, hey,
Who, the principal?
No, the principal or the dean or because it was a Christian school. And he calls me in and he goes, hey, man, we got one of these coaches out there. He's quoting scriptures, and I think, some of these scriptures aren't in the Bible. I said, oh.
Which would prove that I've been doing it for a long time.
my man said,
I might not have been as good at it then now, but
my man said he quotes scriptures that aren't in the Bible. I said, oh, okay. Well, what do you mean? He said, you know what I mean. He gave me a little, you know what I mean. I said, oh, okay. And so, the long story short, I had to have this conversation with Mitch, like, oh, we need to change the tone of those scriptures that you introduced.
Don't motivate them that way.
I ain't gonna go any further, Doug. You can.
Well, I just want to touch on one thing, Anthony. I know we're running out of time, but on something that I'm doing right now that I think everyone ought to think about doing. A buddy of mine came to me and said, hey, Doug, I want to do a prayer circle. It's a book called The Prayer Circle. And you pray for 40 days. And each day you read a 2 or 3 page little story. And then, you get down on your hands and knees. And we all talk about prayer. But when you consistently pray for 40 days and you get on your knees after you read the devotional, it changes your life. And so, and that's the accountability of, hey, what did you learn from today? Just all via text, we go back and forth on what did you learn from today's deal. And it's really pretty powerful to, read same time every day. I do it at 6:30 in the morning. And for 40 days you pray, and it's life changing.
How long we've been knowing each other? I've been here since '79. Prior to that, and I say this, and I don't say it lightly, but there are not 365 days in a year. I say 300 of them. I'm always in prayer. I am on my knees praying, because as crazy as this world is, man, the only thing I have is the peace that our Father has given us, okay? Yep. And with that, I know that I fall short of being what I should be in His eyes, but with that peace, man, gives me comfort, gives me confidence, it keeps me safe.
Yep.
And focused,
So, without a doubt.
Yeah, so that is big part of life, man, is that. It's unseen, but that's what faith is.
Today's saying was pray the price. Pray the price.
And tell us a little bit about you, though. I mean, hey, you got 3 girls and your wife, and you're trying to, lead by example. Talk to me.
Yeah, we I think key for me is that my girls see me reading and that we read together, because it's a habit, right? So right now, their favorite story, you talk about reading the Old Testament. We love getting in Genesis, talking about Joseph. We're learning a lot about jealousy in the house, and we're trying to share. So the message we've been talking about a lot this week is, being content with what you have and focusing on your blessings. Mm-hmm. And so you'll hear my girls be like, we don't want to be like Joseph Brothers.
Right.
So, right now they're really into Moana. We watch Moana every day for who knows how long.
Yeah, Disney.
And so they have a little dress that they wear, and it's a fight over who wears it. And it's like, my oldest was like, oh, it's like Joseph's coat. And I'm like, what?
Really?
Yeah, right. Like,
and already made it out. Yeah.
And so for me, man, it's so much just about get them while the cement is wet.
Right. See how they interpret it.
That.
Yes.
If they can at 3 and 5, whether they retain it all, understand that part of their daily life is that we pray, we say what we're thankful for,
right,
and we read.
A foundation. Yes.
Yeah, when things get crazy and they're away from the house later in life, which they will.
Yes.
They might stray, but they'll come back.
That's right.
They draw back. Yes.
So that's the thing for me, and I know we've been going to church together lately. So
God is good. I mean, I pray every night. Every day I pray. So just FYI, and I'm a believer. As being a player, I always believed in God, but He wasn't number one in my life. As I've gotten older, when I rededicated Jesus to my life, it change that priority. But the good news is that God has a timing, a reason and everything, so that the best thing in my life is that I know I'm blessed. See, there's one thing to be blessed, there's another thing to know that you're blessed. And that changes your output, how you look at things, so to speak. And so it's been truly a blessing. But for our show, and understand and say, we kind of changed the game. And you guys, for 2025, I want to have you guys on some more. I want to talk shop. I really didn't get a chance. There's so much I can talk to you, Doug, without a question. I mean, that's playing cards, some of the things that we do. Mitch, some of the things back in the day, we were just staying up all night and enjoying it. We can have some fun. And that's the thing that I want to make. And as being a believer, I most certainly want to share that part, those testimonies in our upcoming broadcast. My son is a true blessing. You can see that, man. I'm truly blessed. So with that being said, I think it's time for us to close. I always close with this in terms of it's breakfast with the boys. So Donley, and for our folks, that's my boy Donley. That's a private thing we'll talk about a little later. Breakfast. What's your favorite breakfast?
My favorite breakfast is I'm the traditional 2 eggs, extra crispy bacon, sausage, and wheat toast.
Ooh,
That's
who
it.
else? Somebody else was like that too.
I think it was Drew, maybe.
It was a Drew. It might have been Drew. Hey, and
Yeah.
his son is named after Drew. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And Mitch, how about you?
Oh, well, you would hit me with this. So I'd have to say grits, bacon, scrambled eggs, and a bagel. And the bagel can be any bagel and some jelly.
All right, Ant, you got to ask him the question about grits. Come on, you can't let that go down.
You going salt on your grits or sugar on your grits?
Oh no, I don't. I don't
Neither.
put either or on my grits.
Okay.
Yeah, just the grits, man. Just instant grits. Stir them up. I don't put no butter in there.
But you can't eat no grits without no butter.
I eat, man. You seen the packages? You can get flavored grits, man.
Do white people eat grits?
Yeah.
In the South.
Yeah. So what's a grit?
Well, it's a grit, man. We close on that, man. Back to season 2, Breakfast with the Boys, man. Appreciate everyone who stayed with us. We'll catch y'all here next week.
Have a blessed evening.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it, man.
Have you ever took a journey to the other side? Come on, take a ride. Have you ever took a journey? We gon' feel alive.